This is the Puck Junk Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Puck Junk Hockey Podcast. I'm Sal Berry and with me is Tim Parish. And today we are going to do a Setrospective about the 1991-92 Topps Stadium Club Hockey Card Set. Now, this was a set that I bought back in the day, and I know a lot of people still like this set for one reason or another. And I know one collector reached out to me and said, hey, it would be pretty cool if you guys did a review of the first Stadium Club hockey set. So here we are doing that review. So Tim, how are you? How you doing this week?
Happy as a horse.
That's
Is it healthy
what?
as a horse?
Yeah.
Or hungry as a horse? Wait, which one is it?
I think it's hungry like a hippo.
I don't know. I've got horses on the brain because we spent the better part of 5 hours last night with a bunch of horses.
Oh, Did you go horseback riding?
No, you think I'm getting on a horse? You're crazy.
I'd agree.
Yeah, we were at the county fair, and a friend of my wife's, her and her daughter, they do horse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what any of it's called. They do barrel running and weave in and out of the sticks and all that kind of stuff. So we were hanging out over there and watching and filming and taking pictures and stuff. So
equestrian, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
So
it's fascinating.
Yeah. So those of you who are watching the video of this will notice that we have a neat little slide that has a picture of a Brett Hull hockey card. So if you're listening to this podcast as an old school audio podcast, that's fine. We're going to talk about this set, and we're going to talk about the cards in the set. But if you're watching the video over on YouTube, you'll be treated to some images of the cards that we're talking about as we are talking about them. You'll see the images of the cards. So, Tim, I got to ask, was Stadium Club Hockey a set that you built back in 91, 92, or did you end up picking it up after the fact?
I had a lot of it. I didn't really build sets necessarily back then. I had a lot of the cards. I took what I had later on, put them together, and figured out what I was missing, and then thought I had a complete set for quite a long time until I realized there were some error cards missing that I didn't have. So back to the hunt for those.
So when did you you said you eventually completed it? Was it in college? Was it still in high school? I'm just curious, how long did this take you, if you remember?
It would have been probably late 90s. So I was probably in college at the time.
So the funny thing is that I don't remember completing this set, but I know I completed it a long time ago because it's in it's in 9-pocket pages. It's in Ultra Pro pages, and it's in that first generation style of Ultra Pro pages before they added the hologram to them, where it just said platinum and that silver ink. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that would have been the 91-92 season, because I want to say the next year, I didn't want to say after a year, Ultra Pro added that that hologram to its pages. So I believe that I was putting this set together during the 91-92 season. I do remember putting it in pages as I got ones that I needed. I remember sitting on the couch watching hockey and then putting the cards in the pockets, the ones that I needed. So, I mean, it's a set that, I remember buying back in the day. Do you happen to remember what packs were back then? I want to say they were $2 a pack, but I don't really know.
I don't, but you've seen my desk, right? I've showed you pictures of my desk, glass desk that has all of the box tops and everything stuck underneath. Yeah. There is a 91 Stadium Club box top stuck underneath my desk, and it has the price tag on it from Kmart. And the price tag says $1.79. I don't know how old that price tag is, but it's got to be pretty old. So
That sounds about right, because I remember 93, 94 Stadium Club hockey being about $2.50 a pack. I remember
yeah, these
buying
certainly
4
weren't
packs
50-cent
for,
packs, so they probably were around that price.
well, $1.79 was a pretty big jump, considering that, like, so 90, 91, everything was 50 cents a pack except for Upper Deck, which were 99 cents a pack. 91, 92, I remember Upper Deck went down to 89 cents a pack. Everything else was still, let's see, 91, 92. I want to say everything was still 50 cents. Tops might have been 55 cents that year. They might have still been 50 cents. And then, of course, you had O-Pee-Chee Premier, which was kind of like its own thing, its own price point. And then Pro Set Platinum, I want to say, was like $1.50 a pack. So that's when you started getting this arms race where, like, it's like, ooh, we need to do premium sets, right? Like Score did Pinnacle, and Pro Set did both Platinum and Parkhurst, and the Tops did Stadium Club, which it had done in baseball earlier that year and was moderately, it was successful. I mean, people liked it.
Yeah, I just remember this being one of those sets that a lot of people were talking about because of the fact that it was so much more glossy than the normal top sets that everybody had been used to. And with the newer printing technology that they were using, it made it feel, as it says, like a more premium card set that we weren't used to really at that time.
Yeah, so just to give some of the highlights of that Stadium Club set, it was the first Stadium Club hockey set. It was the first hockey set to have foil embossing on the cards. I know Upper Deck did that a little bit later with its World Junior Championship insert cards, but this was the first one to do those like foil stamping on the fronts of the cards. The set consisted of 400 cards, but only had 12 rookie cards. Boxes had 36 packs. Packs had 12 premium hockey cards plus a special offer card, but no gum, because at that point the card companies were like, no, we can't do gum anymore because people really don't want the gum. Cards were produced with Kodak imaging technology, according to the boxes and the wrappers, whatever that is. I think they were trying to say that the cards were like printed better or like had better colors or whatever. But honestly, you look at one of these cards and you go, yeah, it's pretty good for a Topps card. Then you hold it up to an Upper Deck card and you just go, yeah, no competition. The Upper Deck cards like practically jump off the cardboard at you because they're so bright and colorful. And these just look better. Cards were glossier than typical Topps cards, and card backs featured a picture of the player's rookie card. And I got some thoughts about that, but I'll save that for a few minutes. What's on your mind? Any of these pop out to you?
I think part of the draw to the let's emphasize they were produced with Kodak imaging technology. They're full bleed. So there's no border other than that light blue stripe at the bottom and the Stadium Club logo that's on there. There's no border. So whereas Upper Deck cards had borders back then, the photos probably held up better on the Upper Deck side because the more interesting photo choices that they took. But I don't really recall many sets up to this point having full bleed photos where it actually looked like a photograph. Like, think about the technology. We didn't have the digital cameras and all that kind of stuff back then, and 100 megapixels and all of that kind of stuff. No, you had like a 35 millimeter camera. If you were rich, I mean, I had one of those 110 cameras with the nice little reel in it. So those took just decent enough pictures too. But here's the funny thing I always think about this set. Okay, it's made during what everybody considers junk wax era, overproduction era, all of that kind of thing. But many times I've seen this set, and when I thought it was so super premium back then, I see a lot of it now, and I feel like there's so much of it out now, depending on when it got printed. I feel like some of the pictures and the photos look washed nowadays compared to how I felt they looked back then. So I think that's where you get that difference, where Upper Deck, even back then, you still look at the 91 or 90 Upper Deck cards, they still look sharp photos. For some reason, these kind of look, I don't know, but the best thing I can describe is washed out now compared to now technology.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
follow what
I'd
I'm
agree
saying?
with you on that. I think that like Stadium Club really worked better for baseball, at least for the photography on the front, because baseball's played outside. The lighting outside is a lot better. And even though, there's some action in baseball, it's not as fast as hockey. So hockey's played indoors. The lighting's not going to be as good. The players move faster. And you just have a lot of different problems between, catching the motion and getting good lighting. So I feel that like with Stadium Club Baseball, they were really able to like push that a little bit further and get better photos and brighter photos and maybe better colors because the lighting's just going to be so much better. And then hockey is just going to have a lot of the same problems that it had, at least with the Topps hockey, because they tended to use a lot of the same rinks and a lot of the same photographers. And that's why you have kind of like a lot of pictures that look like they're from the same game, or you go, wow, all these pictures are from like the New Jersey Devils arena or whatever. At least I know on like some of the top sets, it's like that.
Yeah, a lot of dark arenas that don't have good lighting.
So I want to rant a little bit about the rookie card, because I remember or the rookie card on the back, pictured on the back of the Stadium Club cards, because in baseball, I thought it was a great idea. Why? Because Topps had been making baseball cards since the 50s. So they had a rookie card of every player that played, or they had a Topps traded card of every player that played. There are probably a few exceptions, but I mean, for the most part, they had that covered really well. Hockey, not so much, because got to remember, O-Pee-Chee made bigger sets, so they had rookie cards of players before Topps did. Topps didn't make rookie cards for a couple of years. And then in 1991, companies like Pro Set and Upper Deck and Score made cards of players that Topps didn't even bother to make cards of, especially since Topps didn't do any sort of traded set or update set. So like, here are my thoughts about that rookie card that's pictured on the back of the Stadium Club hockey cards. My first problem is that Topps ignored the existence of O-Pee-Chee cards. And I get it, they were different companies, but they were kind of like, they were like friends with benefits. I don't think they were married exactly, but they were good together, right? Like O-Pee-Chee made baseball cards and they made hockey cards, and Topps, of course, made baseball cards and hockey cards and all the other sports. So the fact that like you have like a card like here, I'm showing Chris Chelios, right? And the back of it says rookie card 1986 Topps, or sorry, 1985 Topps. But his rookie card was in 84, 85 O-Pee-Chee. So that's just something that always bugged me, that like at this point in collecting, people who are collecting these cards and who really knew hockey cards, they knew that some players had rookie cards in the O-Pee-Chee sets, that their first card wasn't 89-90 Topps or 90-91 Topps or whatever. They actually had an O-Pee-Chee card, years before. You know what I'm saying?
They could have fixed that with one little tweak.
Okay.
And you could have still put the same picture of the card on there and all of that, but instead of putting rookie card along the side, they could have put first Topps card.
Yes.
And then it would have been done. You didn't have to change anything. You just add the extra word. Done.
Yeah. First Topps card.
Yeah.
And it was actually funny that some price guides used to actually denote that as FTC first Topps card. I remember that. You'd have RC designations and you had FTC designations, which seemed kind of lame because it's just like, it's not really a rookie card, but okay. Yeah, you're right, though. That's what they could have done.
Yeah, but you're right. They did a lot of this. So you look and you see like the Chelios, for example. I mean, obviously that's not his rookie card, and most people already knew that. And you have that issue with a lot of them. I have a similar issue, which maybe we're going to bring it up anyway.
Okay. Well, okay. Shall I go ahead to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so Topps ignores the existence of O-Pee-Chee Premier, which again, this is kind of like the same as before, but come on, at this point, 9091 came out, it hit collectors like a ton of bricks, and it's like they're not even acknowledging that, like, okay, there was this set of cards that came out in Canada that, you know, that our friends made, and, you know, here's this Jaromir Jagr rookie card, and what's this? Oh, on the back, we're showing his rookie card as his 91-92 Topps card, which ironically and coincidentally, and I think both cases work here, ironically and coincidentally, use the same photo that's used on Jagr's 90-91 O-Pee-Chee Premier card.
Yeah, and again, you add first Topps card, you don't have to acknowledge any other brand. You just say first Topps card.
Okay, that's fair. And then another one that annoyed me, and I know, okay, now I'm really stretching here, but like I'm looking at this Phil Housley card, and it shows his rookie card as being 84-85 Topps. Now, he had cards in 83-84. He had his O-Pee-Chee rookie in 83-84. Topps did not make hockey cards in 82-83 and 83-84, but they made hockey stickers. So again, they could have, instead of picturing this 84-85 Topps card, they could have pictured Housley's 83-84 sticker, because they made it, and it was, you know, the same year as his O-Pee-Chee rookie. Again, I'm kind of reaching here, but like I'm saying,
definitely
it's like,
reaching on this one.
Well, but okay, it's like they don't acknowledge O-Pee-Chee, they don't acknowledge O-Pee-Chee Premier, and they don't acknowledge their own stickers, right? And then on top of that, they ignore their subset cards, right? Because now this Mark Messier card says rookie card 1986 Topps. Now we all know that Mark Messier's rookie card was an 80-81 O-Pee-Chee, was not in the Topps set. Okay, fine. But Messier's first Topps card was actually an 84-85 Topps in the All-Star subset. He didn't have a standard card because they only did 3 Oilers, but then for the All-Star subsets where they did first team All-Stars and second team All-Stars, Messier has a card there. So wouldn't that be his, I mean, that would be his first Topps card, but I mean, couldn't this arguably be his rookie card?
It raises the age-old question of what constitutes a rookie card. Can an all-star designated card be a rookie card? Can an insert be a rookie? Can a sticker be a rookie? So we could have this debate till the cows come home, or horses.
Yeah. Until the horse. Yeah. Can a box bottom be a rookie card? Right? Because everybody sells that Mario Lemieux box bottom as a rookie card. I'm like, no, it's only worth $3. Sell it to me.
You're right. I wish it was.
Yeah. Right. All right. And I think I got one more beef about these rookie. Oh no, 2 more. Okay. Okay, so then on Ed Belfour's card, it shows on the back, rookie card 91 Topps. Okay, the previous year, Topps issued a set of hockey cards called Bowman, because they did Bowman baseball in 89 when they bought the Bowman brand. Well, they bought the Bowman brand in like the 50s because they were their biggest competitor in baseball cards. So they bought out Bowman just so they could like put them out of business. But then they brought back the Bowman baseball brand in 89. And then a year later, they decided to use the Bowman name for hockey, which was weird because it really didn't have any meaning to hockey collectors, but whatever. So the 1991 Bowman set had a rookie card of Ed Belfour. I mean, that would be his first Bowman card, but it was issued by Topps. So why wouldn't that be the rookie card? Wouldn't it be cool if it said rookie card 91 or 1990 Bowman?
You're missing the point of it. It's focusing only on Topps.
Right. So they should have said, okay, but still, I just think that's what made the whole rookie card inclusion on the back to me a joke. Is that it's just like, yeah, first rookie card if you ignore O-Pee-Chee, if you ignore Topps stickers, if you ignore All-Star cards, if you ignore Bowman cards, you know, and most of these are either made by Topps. Remember, O-Pee-Chee had a sub-license from Topps, right? Like Topps had the license, and then O-Pee-Chee originally had its license through Topps, and then they got their own license, and that's why they were able to make O-Pee-Chee Premier cards.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is my last one. So Topps can't decide if it wants to scratch its 80-81 cards. Because like on the back of Michel Goulet's card, it rightly shows his 80-81 Topps card as his rookie card. And on the back of Ray Bork's card, it rightly shows his 80-81 Topps card as his rookie card. The difference is that the Goulet card is pictured with that annoying little black area that was over the name, the little scratch off puck. So I hate inconsistencies like that. It's like, just pick one.
Yeah, I never even noticed that before.
Yeah, and
it almost makes you think the Ray Bork is an O-Pee-Chee card.
You would think, but it's not bilingual because it just says defense. Right. Yeah.
Right.
The other 80-81 cards pictured on the back have that black scratch off puck. So
so the Bork's probably the exception then.
Yeah, that was probably the one. That was probably the best one they could afford at the time. And they said, "All right, it's scratched. We'll just use that one. We'll just take a picture of that one." Or, I mean, this was before they would. Maybe they had scanners back then. I mean, scanners back then were really expensive and really slow. They probably would have used a, I think it's called a copy stand, where you would just put a picture and you'd set it up right, and then you'd set up a camera, and it was like completely like perpendicular to it or parallel to it, whatever, right? So that you take the picture and it would just be straight on, right? So that's probably what they did. Set up the card, take a picture of it, and then use that in the design.
Back before cropping was a thing.
Back before cropping was a thing. All right, so let's take a look.
I got problems with rookies too.
Oh, do tell, please.
I mean, there's a lot of problems with the rookies and the choices of some of the rookies, but the thing that bothers me about it, so this set is from 91, 92.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the rookie cards, now we're talking about kind of two different things here, but the same, like the rookie cards that were issued in this particular set then show the rookie card on the back as the 91, 92 Topps card. But this is also a 91, 92 set. So they're kind of saying like, hey, here's a Stadium Club rookie card of a guy, but it's not really the rookie card. The real one is in our other flagship set, the other 91, 92 Topps set. So they came out the same year. So technically they're both rookie cards.
Right.
But the one they chose to show was the 91, 92.
Right.
And they did that on all but two of them.
Right, yeah. That's weird,
that's
though.
Weird. It's like, here, buy this product, check out this product, here's our design. But really, even though this is a rookie card, this is the actual rookie card. So
yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of picturing the player's rookie card on the back of a Stadium Club card because it builds excitement about those things, right? Like, I mean, at this point, like, if you're Topps and you're making hockey cards and you're like, yeah, we want you to buy our new cards, but we want you to go back and buy some of the older cards too. And here's this guy's rookie card and here's that guy's rookie card. And I think that was a really cool thing. I just, like I said, I was annoyed by the inaccuracies of it. Maybe a little too much. But
yeah. It's about the perception of what you think it should be versus what it's supposed to pull off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I have way too high expectations for these things.
Remember, we're dealing with 91 technology here.
What do you think of the design, though? I'm showing this Wayne Gretzky card now, and kind of an unusual photo choice. He's got all these microphones around him, but well, we can't argue that that's Gretzky's rookie card because we know it's his rookie card.
Yeah, the one on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say that's not the correct one. The design, I like the design. I like it now today, and I liked it then when it came out because it was different. Again, with the full bleed photos, and they picked a lot of different photos that we weren't normally used to seeing in previous Topps sets. Topps traditionally would use either close-up photos of the player, either on the ice or on the bench, or like an action shot. Like you didn't get a whole lot of, and again, there's exceptions, but you didn't get a ton of other stuff going on or like interesting shots. You know, when Upper Deck came out, they had that. So it's like, okay, time for everybody else to step up their game, get better photography, get more interesting photos. And I think this is one of them, especially considering you got a hockey player who, during his playing career, was never accused of being the most personable and jovial kind of guy. And it looks like he's got a smile on his face, even though he's got 100 cameras shoved in it. So is it a rare photo? Maybe not, but it's certainly cool.
Yeah, and the back of the card also has Gretzky's NHL totals as well as his WHA totals. So interesting that like the players that did play in the World Hockey Association, it does list their totals, their career totals in that league as well as the NHL, and then their 1991 stats has a write-up on the back, and then their vitals like their height, their weight, and when they were born, where they were born, and then even their hometown, right? Like it says here that Gretzky's home is in Encino, California, right? You don't get that anymore. You just, they were born here, but where did they live? I guess maybe too many people had stalked them, right? I don't know.
That was something that was always on the back of like the Donruss baseball cards, where it had born and where they live.
Yeah, and so did Topps hockey cards. They had born and where they lived, and they even used to have last amateur club, which I liked.
Yeah, and this got into, okay, we're going to put lots of graphics, lots of pictures, lots of flash and flare. So we no longer have room for statistics on here. So you get last year's numbers and totals. It just so happened Gretzky's got the WHA totals too. But
yeah, and then you got the illustration of a hockey rink on the back, which is, it was kind of nice. I mean, it's a little busy of a design, but that's okay. It's very 90s in the sense that they were like pushing the design further and further. You got into this age of like over design by the mid 90s before things kind of stepped back a little bit.
Yeah. You also kind of have the same pattern, like so you started to see a lot of cards do the backs vertically too, just like the fronts. And this kind of stuck with the typical Topps where you have the vertical card and the sideways on the back rather than vertical. Now, especially in baseball or some hockey players, guys that played for a million years, they put vertical and put all their stats. But you kind of kept this consistent with how things were, even though it's a newer, more premium type looking set. And I agree, the backs are kind of busy. Makes me wonder what they used for that rink photo, because I don't know, that crowd is pretty interesting.
No, it's looks like empty seats.
In there. It's either empty seats or it's like balcony seating from a theater. It almost looks like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's an illustration. It's kind of nice. Just looking at some of the other cards here, like Chelio's photo, he seems to be actually playing. That's not a practice photo. That's not a warm-up photo. He actually looks like he has some intention in his look there, in his gaze, right? Like he's about to knock some guy down. And Brett Hull here actually looks like he's trying to do something. I mean, he's like, looks like he's getting ready to charge into the offensive zone. And then this Yzerman, just kind of looks like he's kind of coasting, like waiting for a pass. Maybe he's like circling in the offensive zone. So, I mean, there's some cool, there's that Steve Yzerman rookie we keep seeing. The Steve Yzerman rookie card. Yeah. And then this Patrick Waugh card, I kind of like it. It's, it's colorful. I mean, the Canadiens jersey, can't go wrong. It's colorful. But, he's got a look of concentration in his eyes. He's kind of looking up and ahead,
Scoreboard watching.
Or what?
Board
watching?
They're running the scores from the CFL. So he's checking.
Oh, I see.
Make sure his fantasy team is still doing okay.
Right. And this Messier is just, I don't know. I just put it in there because it's Mark Messier, but he's so it's a warm-up shot, you can tell, but whatever. just wanted to get some of the good players in here. So not all the photos of the like Hall of Fame players are necessarily good photos. I mean, the one of Gretzky doing the interview is kind of interesting, and then you got ones like of Messier that's just like meh. Oh, this one I thought was kind of cool. Mario Lemieux. Is that Jim Pack behind him?
It is.
Pack looks huge. He like actually. I know Lemieux's kind of he's kind of crouched down a bit. He's bending that front leg, and he's about to push off. But like Pack looks like he's a foot taller than Lemieux in this photo, which is funny because Lemieux is like 6'4". So
Yeah.
the fact that somebody else looks bigger than him in the same picture is just kind of funny.
Jimmy Pack's only about 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be those shoulder pads, though.
I was going to say, I think playing weight, like he was 6'1", like 190, 195, something like that.
Wow.
I remember going to a show at one of the local hotels, and he was signing autographs, him and Paul Stanton, and I got them to sign. And I remember he stood up, and I thought, he's pretty short for a hockey player. Because I had seen other guys before that were like monstrous compared to me at the time. Like I'm 6'1" now, but back then I think I was maybe 5'8", 5'9". So yeah. Anyway, yeah, the shoulder pads are pretty wide on there. And Lemieux's kind of in front of them, plus the angle's coming downward, so that does give it the impression that he's a giant.
Yeah, and then notice that's from the 1991 Stanley Cup final.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it when they use those pictures like from the final.
Yeah, because you got the final patch on there.
Yeah.
Their jerseys.
And then this card photo of Ray Bourque is average, I think. It's just kind of standing there. Looks like he's either waiting for. This has got to be during a game. He's inside the blue line, so maybe he's waiting. Oh, wait a minute. No, I see the Canadians behind him. Yeah, he's probably maybe waiting for a pass. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Just not that exciting of a picture. It's not like his upper deck card from the previous year where he's like leaping over the boards.
Yeah.
So anyway, I also put together, I know I asked you ahead of time, like, hey, what are some of the photos that you found interesting or cards that you found interesting? And I kind of came up with some as well. We got Jaromir Jagr, card number 343.
Jagr's hair helmet is world famous. It will always be world famous. It's featured on numerous cards in the early 90s, and just if you were a hockey player and you didn't attempt to have this hair, then I question your commitment to hockey.
I had that hair and I was a terrible hockey player. I played a couple years as a teen, and I had the mullet, but it was but that was the best thing about my game, honestly.
But I mean, look at it. It's so luxurious.
Hey, I want to ask you something about this because this is not from the 90 draft.
No.
So do you know where this photo is from? Because it's just really strange that they used a photo of Jagr in a suit and tie and on his hockey card. Like they blew all their budget just using that other photo that they used on his Topps 91-92 card and the Stadium Club card. He's just in a suit and a tie, and he's got his hair helmet.
I don't know exactly where it came from. I can only imagine it was probably from some type of press conference or something. Whoever's standing behind him is also wearing a dress shirt with the stripes. So I imagine this was something where people were not formal, but at least dressed up. And you got to remember way back then, like there were dress codes coming in and out of the stadium. So you had to have, I think a tie was required for all the players. Like I think this is the first year coming up here, 25, 26, where they got rid of the pregame dress codes. So, but up until that point, it was still looked nice. So I don't know for
Yeah.
sure. I couldn't say. It's interesting because under his name and underneath the little strip on the bottom, he's got something on his lapel. So
Like a name tag or something. I can't really
yeah,
see what that is.
can't really tell. I thought it was a pin. I used to think it was like an American flag pin, but then I'm like,
Hmm.
why would he have an American flag? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Um, so anyway, let's see here. And then card number 289, John Cullen, who's pictured in an All-Star jersey at the 91 NHL All-Star game in Chicago. I've overlooked this photo a million times, but you pointed it out to me. Why?
Well, again, replicating the hair helmet. But the main thing here is I believe, and I've looked at most of the cards multiple times, that this is the only card that features a player wearing an all-star jersey
In this set.
in this set.
Yeah.
And it's weird that of all the players to pick, you pick John Cullen. Not that John Cullen was a bad player. He was absolutely not a bad player. He was a great player. But, I mean, essentially you've got a set here that was manufactured in 91, 92. So at this point, you've got the better part of 50 some 56 Hall of Famers are in this set.
Right. Something like that.
Yeah, the fact that it's got John Cullen in an all-star uniform is interesting to me.
Yeah, it's not that interesting of a photo, though. He's like at the bench. He's kind of looking up. It's like the side of his head.
Looks like he's whistling.
It's not that great of a photo. God, that jersey looks really baggy. I like the jersey, though. I love those all-star jerseys. I'm going to have to buy one again. I think I had a white all-star jersey like that design, but the white one, and I don't have it anymore. And I'd like to get one, and maybe even get one with the Chicago Stadium patch on the shoulder, like the one pictured here.
If you're getting the jersey, you got to get the pants too. And
why
those Jofa gloves. You need those.
Yeah. If you can find them. Rick Tocchet, another hair helmet. I think this is a cool picture. I mean, it's obviously from a warm-up, but it's a good portrait of him. It's in focus. It's obviously pre-game because he's not sweaty and his hair looks fabulous. Like
he's staring somebody down, though. You know he is.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, who is he staring down, and when are they going to die?
Yeah, and he's got an A on his shoulder. You know what the A stands for, right?
The A patch.
Yeah.
Alternate captain.
Ass kicker. He's ready to kick some ass.
I gotcha.
Yeah, he's doing the stare down, and he's got the A patch on his chest there. Yeah, that's a cool picture. Oh, and also gets his rookie card right, 87, 88 tops, and also a peachy. But yeah, that's a nice. See, I don't mind portrait shots like this if they're cool, if they're good. You know what I mean? If it's just like a picture of the player and they're kind of looking up and their mouth is kind of open, and you're just like, wow, that's the best you could get. But this one actually looks good. He looks a little determined there.
He does.
All right, we got this one I just threw in there, Kelly Kisio. So it's a horizontal card. He's kind of doing the Bo Jackson baseball bat thing where he's got his hand, he's got a stick across his shoulders, and he's got his hands on it. It's not a good picture of Kisio. He looks kind of befuddled. The only reason why I wanted to show this, though, is because there's a handful of cards where they pictured players in their new Sharks uniform. So the Sharks made their debut in 91, 92, and some players were selected in the expansion draft. And they have a couple pictures of the Sharks players modeling the new Sharks jerseys. Like I don't think there's any numbers on the sleeves yet. Or maybe if it is, it's like 91. But obviously Upper Deck
numbers.
No, although I remember the ones on the Upper Deck cards. Remember the one of Bob McGill where he's looking over his shoulder, and I know that back is not blank. I want to say it says like 91 Sharks on the back or something, but
the one where he looks like Marv from Sin City.
Sure. If who? Bob McGill?
Yeah.
No, he's got the big fluffy hair.
Yeah. And his head's like square. He looks like a cartoon character.
Okay. But Marv from Sin City is bald, or has like a crew cut, if I remember correctly.
It's like the pointy hair, just like that.
All right.
Put them side by side. You'll see it.
All right. I'll take your word for it. So, anyways, yeah. So they did do some horizontal pictures, which I don't necessarily care for on Stadium Club this year. I kind of hate it when you have a bunch going one way and then you have one card go a different way, and it's not that great of a photo. But like I said, I kind of picked it because it was great that they at least had him in a Sharks jersey, and they probably just said, this is the best photo we have, but it's the most up-to-date photo that we have, so let's use it. So
he looks either drunk or was drunk yesterday.
Yeah. He just found out that he got drafted to the Sharks, and now he's going to be on automatically the worst team in the league. Tim Kerr wearing a suit.
Yes. So now we have super premium SP cards from Upper Deck that are called Swagnificent that show the players in their suits. So, I mean, other than, well, you already showed the Yager card where he's at some kind of press conference or whatever, but this is like pre-game kind of like getting ready for something here.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't really think of seeing, with the exception of like award cards where it shows people accepting their awards wearing a suit. You didn't see players in suits on cards that I can think of, unless I'm crazy.
No, I mean, the only one I can think of is the Gretzky press conference card from 88. I mean, he's in a shirt and a tie.
Yeah.
But this one he's in a suit. So what's interesting about this is a couple things to keep in mind here is that Kerr was actually drafted by the Sharks from the Flyers, but then the Sharks turned around and they traded him to the Rangers, which I don't understand why they did that. I know Kerr was having some shoulder problems at the time. But when I saw that they had drafted him, I'm just like, oh, hey, Tim Kerr's he's a big, strong player. I mean, he was an all-star a couple of times. And so I thought, okay, wow, the Sharks actually have a pretty good forward on their team. Yeah, but they flipped him right away to the Rangers. So they didn't have a picture of him in a Sharks jersey, and that wouldn't have made sense anyways if they did. And they didn't have a picture of him in a Rangers jersey, so they're just like, let's just show him in a suit. Then we don't have to add now with Rangers on the front of the card like they did with so many other cards in this set. Now with Sharks, now with North Stars, now with this team, now with that team. And here they just didn't put any of that because he's in a suit. And then on the back, it just quietly says Rangers on it.
I like the card photo. What I don't like is whoever wrote the back talking about how he always gives 110%. God, that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
You can't have more than 100%.
He's also willing to muck it up when necessary. That's the extra 10%. That's what it says. Muck it up.
He was definitely one of those net front presence guys that would knock you out and score goals at the same time.
I might have to read all the blurbs on the back of these cards and then like do like a blog post where I just count down like the 10 best or whatever. Because as I was rereading some of these cards for the first time in like 30 years, I was just like, this is interesting. Like they actually like did research about the player. They actually told you about the player, told you what made the player good. Way more interesting than Tim Kerr had 3 assists in a 3-3 tie against the Red Wings on October 12th, right? Thank you, Upper Deck, for that one. I call it the BS blurb because it's always like, Marc-Andre Fleury made 38 saves in a 3-2 win on, December 31st. Like who cares, right? That's not interesting.
Makes me wonder if that was part of the idea of Stadium Club is, hey, this is Stadium Club. So like you're in this exclusive group. So we're going to give you like scouting report info and interesting tidbits of information that you wouldn't normally get by looking at just stats on the back of a hockey card.
I like that.
So it's special. And for those listening on the radio, I air quoted special.
Special with quotes. Now, this one I freaking love. I don't remember seeing this photo back in the day, but as I was looking through the cards today and rediscovering many of them, this one of Trevor Linden is just fantastic. So those of you who are listening to the podcast, it's Trevor Linden, and he's jostling with not one, but two North Stars defensemen in this photo. So he's I don't know if it's it was he's a winger. So he's trying to establish net front's presence in the offensive zone. I don't know which zone he's in, but he's definitely.
It's hard to say. There's no lines on the ice, and I can't tell by the angle.
Yeah, I can't tell. I can tell it's in Minnesota because the Stars are in the home jerseys, and then you got the green stripe at the top of the boards, which they had at the Met Center. But it's just a cool photo, that you're just seeing him. He's a 6'4" dude, and he's just basically holding his own against two Stars players. It's just a really exciting action shot. And this is the kind of stuff I like to see on a hockey card. It tells you, it's an exciting photo. And also it kind of tells you what kind of player he was,
Makes me wonder if that's the same two defensemen that.
No, it's not. Yeah, I know. Split the defense for the goal.
They got smoked by him, and here's Trevor Linden taking two guys on at once. Like, these guys need a new job.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to figure out who those D-men are. But it's just this is one of the better Stadium Club cards in that set. And then you liked this one of Wendell Clark.
It's just an interesting photo, I think. He's just kind of sitting there on the bench. Yeah, it looks like there's a trainer or something maybe next to him.
Yeah, somebody with glasses,
So he's obviously all the way at the end of the bench.
Yeah, probably just got off.
He's just kind of staring. Not that he's really looking at a play, but he's just kind of looking. He doesn't look tired, though. He also doesn't look
profile shot, huh?
It is. I said he doesn't look tired or sweaty either. So
yeah, and I said it's a good profile shot. So nice side shot of him. Yeah, he doesn't look sweaty. It's a nice picture. It's again, it's maybe not an interesting photo, but I think like if you have a close-up photo, that's got to help you in identifying the player, and if it's an action photo, then that's awesome too. Like the one of Trevor Linden, you don't get a real good look at his face, but you just go, that's a good photo.
He also looks younger in that card than he does on his rookie card, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it does.
If you look at flip to
Wendell Clark.
Yeah, I think he looks younger on the Stadium Club card than he does on his rookie card. Like he looks older on the rookie card for some reason.
Don't know why. Yeah, because it's about 5 years apart in years. Now, how about this one of Tom Barrasso?
That's a great card.
Caressing the Stanley Cup.
It's a great card because we just won the championship, and there's stoic Barrasso like he always is.
Yeah,
barely. You can't tell if that's a smile. That's probably a smile, but you're not real sure.
Yeah, he looks a little like a deer in headlights look.
There's probably 1,000 cameras flashing all at the same time.
Oh yeah, you could see that glare on the Stanley Cup itself. That Stanley Cup takes up like 50% of the picture.
That's a great picture for a card.
I think so. Yeah, I thought it was cool when you started seeing. You never saw photos like this. You might see I know in like the 70s Topps cards, they might have a card of like the Montreal Canadiens hoisting the Stanley Cup, or in the 80s, there were like O-Pee-Chee cards of like the Oilers with the Stanley Cup. And, now we're starting to see this in the 90s because we didn't really see that so much, right? We didn't really see those in like the late 80s sets. Apologies if you hear that thunder. It just started raining really hard all of a sudden.
Nice.
Yeah, hope we don't lose power. Oh, this one. So here we got Joe Nieuwendyk tying his skate. I don't know if I love this card or hate this card. It's interesting and different, which is why I picked it. But he looks like he's going, hey guys, hold on, wait, hold on, wait, don't drop the puck just yet. I gotta fix my skate. He's got that look on his face, like, hey, hold on.
I think he's talking to somebody.
Yeah, it could be warm-ups.
Yeah, I think he's talking to somebody. They're telling him about like the weekend they had and all the bars that they went out to. He's just listening as he ties his skate.
Yeah, so that's one that I picked that I like. The Joe Nieuwendyk card where he's tying his skate. And then another Calgary Flame, we got Jamie McCowan, and he's signing an autograph for a fan. And I think that's a really cool picture. I mean, it's a little dark. It's not the greatest picture of McCowan, but it is just cool that he's, interacting with the fan. I love seeing pictures like this.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then this Ed Belfour one is just kind of, I kind of wish he was looking up a little more. He's looking down at something, but it's a nice head and shoulder shot. You kind of see the mask like dead center. Usually you see his eagle mask from the side that shows the eagle and the wings, but instead we just kind of see it in the front. So you don't really see too much of the eagle heads, just a little bit, but I like it. And it's got the all-star patch on the chest as well.
That's a good photo.
And then this one of Walt Podubny. I like this one. Looks like maybe he was one of the stars of the game, and he's skating out, and there's a spotlight on him. So it's like a darkened background, and then there's like this big spotlight around him as he's skating around. I think that's a pretty cool picture.
A lot of these photos are ones that Upper Deck uses now for Canvas.
Yes.
Those kind of photos.
Yeah, like the tying the skate, or like Podubny in the spotlight. Those would, or McCowan signing an autograph. Those would definitely be on a canvas set today. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, so now I got some bad cards I want to make fun of. Some bad photos. You picked some of these. I picked some of these. Okay, Steve Thomas. What's your gripe about number 109, Steve Thomas?
Well, I'm not the greatest skater in the world, but I imagine skating is easier with two legs instead of one. And this card is taken from the angle where he's just kind of listlessly moving over, and they caught it right where his leg was up in the air, so it looks like he only has one leg.
Yeah, well, they're kind of one in front of the other. So
yeah. Not only that, if you look at the space between his leg and the hockey pants he's wearing, it even makes it look like the pants are wide open, like there's no legs sticking out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's definitely kind of a funny.
It's just a weird picture.
It is a weird picture.
Awkward.
This one of Curtis Lashishin annoys me because he's in not. There's a player in the foreground that's partially obscuring him, and that player is out of focus. Lashishin is in focus. So from like an artistic standpoint, maybe that's what Topps was thinking. Like, oh, this is kind of artistic because you got a player in the foreground that's really blurry, and then the player that's like kind of like in the mid-ground is in focus. But I just don't think this is a good photo. This is not the photo I would have picked because I feel like the blurriness of that foreground New Jersey Devils player is just too distracting. What do you think?
It's certainly interesting. You don't normally see things like that, and it's almost like, well, we don't have any pictures of this guy, so let's just go with this. which is a lie because they do, because clearly they had one the previous year on his 90-91 Topps card on the back.
Yeah, they could have just reused that card, or he played 55 games the previous season, and he could have been there could have been more than one photo of him. But they were just like, all right, that's him. And he's in focus. That's all that matters. So I kind of thought
could be an artistic thing.
Could be. Now here we have Stefan Matteau getting splatted into the boards by Ken Danico. I wonder if this is his welcome to the NHL moment. Not a great photo. Not the photo I'd want for my hockey card. And then if you look towards the upper left corner, there's like a fan with glasses, and he's like really smiling, like he's really enjoying the fact that Matteau's getting splatted into the boards.
Yeah, another example of a Flames card where they're not really playing hockey as much as doing something else, like in this case being killed. So,
well, he's playing hockey. He's just on the receiving end of a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then okay, so you picked this one, Ulf Dahlin. You called it a yearbook photo. So just for those of you who are listening to this episode, it's just a team-issued photo of Dahlin. He's wearing like a white turtleneck sweater, and then he's wearing like a black jacket with like a big collar, and then he's got like a North Stars pin. It's kind of crooked on one of the lapels, and he's looking right at the camera and he's smiling. And these are this is obviously from the yearbook, from the North Stars yearbook, because every now and then you'd see a photo like this on a card.
I think that's a patch on the
on
the jacket, not a pin.
Yeah,
same vibe. But he reminds me of like the intro to some really bad 70s or 80s sitcom where like they're introducing people and going through the credits at the beginning, playing some goofy music. And this is the shot where he had his back turned and he turned real quick and he's ready to point at the camera.
Yeah, he like turns around and smiles at the camera, and it does like the freeze frame, and then it says like, and Ulf Dahlin as the neighbor.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so he, I'm looking at his hockey DB, he ended up on the North Stars. Yeah, he was on the team for a while, 89, 90, 90, 91, 91, 92, 92, 93. So, I mean, they could have had an action photo of him, but they're just like, okay, we got this headshot of him. Let's use this. And actually, seeing this originally, I was confused because I'm thinking, wait, was he in that expansion draft where I know the Sharks took some players, but then the North Stars took some players also in that draft. So I thought, okay, maybe he ended up on the North Stars that year, but no, he was traded like season and a half ago. So yeah, I don't know why they used this one. I mean, it's not a terrible photo, but it's not.
Well, not only did they use that, they also used that card as one of the cover cards for some of the boxes.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Like this was the card that they used on the box to sell you on the idea of buying a pack. Same with that John Cullen card. They're like, these are what the cards look like. Here's John Cullen in the dark looking sideways, and here's Ulf Dahlin well lit, like looking right at you, right into your soul.
Well, we're so used to like a hobby box comes out and we know who the cover person is, and that's what they all look like. And maybe the blaster box is different, or the tin might have somebody different or a different photo, but it's generally the same people. This came out, I think there were 6 different cover graphics. And they were all a card they were all 2 cards, one card over top of the other. So the one in back was kind of offset. But yeah, they used Ulf Dahlin, this one. There's one with Mike Richter. There's one with John Cullen. There's a Bill Ranford, a Gary Galley, and a John Casey.
Gary Galley. Wow. Yeah. Way to sell. I mean, I love Gary Galley. Don't get me wrong. He played a long time in the league and he's well respected. But I mean, hey, kids, you could get cards like Gary Galley. Like,
well, he's the background card to the Ulf Dahlin cover.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, if you want to sell a box of cards or a pack of cards in 1991, you put Mario Lemieux or Brett Hull or Steve Eiserman or Wayne Gretzky or Patrick Waugh or half a dozen other players, Jeremy Roenick, right, Jaromir Jagr. But it's just like, hey, Ulf Dahlin, he's
Well,
a
even
defensive forward, and
just that list of 6 people. I mean, in 91, 92, that's not blowing anybody away. I mean, Mike Richter had a lot of pull, but again, this is 91, 92.
right,
So,
was it 94?
yeah, I mean, the legend of Mike Richter wasn't quite cemented yet at that point.
Right.
So,
But a goalie on a popular team, I'd even accept that over, a bottom six forward or middle six forward in a jacket, and and turtleneck.
right.
All right. Look at this one. Jay Miller, 2 minutes for elbowing.
Yeah. Jay
It's a lot of
Miller.
elbow.
Like, I was unaware that players practiced wearing their communion gowns, but
Yeah. So
apparently
for
that was
those
a
of
thing.
you, who can't see this right now, it's Jay Miller. He's in practice. He's in the Kings practice. He's drinking water from a nice green water bottle, and he's wearing a white practice jersey, and like his elbow takes up like 40% of the photo. It's like just this giant elbow in your face, and then hey, there's a guy attached to that elbow, and he's drinking water.
Yeah, it's probably a Gatorade bottle, I would assume, but because it's green. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can't tell because he's obscuring the logo. But yeah, the practice jersey are one of those white ones, those really big, baggy white ones.
Yeah, it's just not a good photo. I mean, they're like, oh, look, he's drinking water. That's interesting. No, you know what? Dude had 259 penalty minutes in 90-91 in 66 games. I think he did something a little more interesting than drink water the previous season, don't you?
He was tired from all the fighting.
All the fighting, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that one, when you mentioned that one, and I'm just like, huh? Like I couldn't remember this one, and when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's just a weird picture.
Okay, here we got Phil Housley. Looks like he is taking off his skates, or maybe it looks like he's getting undressed after the game. He's sitting on the bench, and looks like he's doing that thing where you take your fingers and you kind of brush the ice and the snow off your blades. Looks like what he's doing. It kind of looks like what he's doing. Maybe not, but either that or he's checking the sharpness of the blade with his fingertips.
Could be doing that. I point this card out. There's a few cards in the set that show players in the locker rooms, but it kind of emphasizes how bad some of these locker rooms were back then. I mean, you look at this, and it's like the benches and the little dividers between the benches with the concrete wall and the crappy floor, and it looks like everything was made by like solder or some other particle board manufacturing furniture company. Like, it's just compared to what everybody has now with like state of the art locker rooms. It looks so archaic to see that.
You know, the only thing this locker room is missing is an ashtray.
Yeah. And I'm sure they probably are like, yeah, we can't have this on a card. Slide that over to the right a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that empty spot on the bench next to him, I feel like there should be an ashtray there. I mean, I'm not saying that Phil Housley smoked, probably not, but I mean, a lot of guys.
A lot of players did.
A lot of players did. I mean, in Mike Keenan's book, he talked about when he took over as coach of the Blackhawks in '88, how there were ashtrays like installed in the locker rooms. And he's just like, we're getting rid of these ashtrays right now. And they're like, one of the trainers or whatever was like, oh, but Dennis Savard likes to smoke. And Keenan's like, I don't care. No one's going to be smoking in this locker room when I'm coach.
I mean, Mario famously used to smoke a heater down in the tunnel coming to the ice.
Smoke what?
He used to smoke a heater when he was coming out to the ice.
You mean a cigarette?
Uh-huh.
A heater.
You've never heard that term before? It's a very
No.
common term.
I've heard the term dart.
The dart too.
Yeah, maybe it's an East Coast versus Midwest thing.
People used to say that when I lived in Vegas all the time.
Oh, okay, then maybe it's a whatever. Anyway, so Phil Housley doing something with his skate, and yeah, this it's kind of not a great photo. And then this one of Michel Goulet, he looks surprised, but there's a couple things wrong with this photo. First of all, there's something like obscuring part of that all-star patch. Like it's almost like something is in the foreground and it's blurry and you can't really see the patch. Either that or maybe this was like the last. You remember when you would take photos and like the last frame on the film would get that little bit of orange on it, that little bit of I forget, there's a name for that. I forgot what it is, but that little bit of orange, like the last frame. So it almost looks like it's that, like it's a little bit overexposed. So the all-star patch is obscured. He looks surprised, and then his black hair just disappears into the black background. It's like it's hard to tell where his hair ends and where the background begins.
No chance this is airbrushed, right?
No, they didn't do that.
That's what I was thinking. Like they were trying to do something with it, but then they stopped and forgot and thought, hey, the Stadium Club logo is so big, it'll cover it up and nobody will notice.
Well, they have no reason to remove the All-Star patch because the Blackhawks wore those in 1991. So that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not like they need to hide it or anything. But yeah, it's just, I look at that and I'm just like, oh, okay, he looks kind of not a great picture, and not for the reasons that I explained. All right. I saved the best for last. Rubber Decky. The Daniel Berthiaume card is infamous because it's a Topps card, but in the background is an Upper Deck logo on the boards and the words Upper Deck. And Topps realized that. They picked this photo, and maybe they realized after the fact, like, oh, wait, our competitor's logo is on this card. Okay, so what they did was they changed upper. So they changed the second P in upper to make look like a B. So when you said airbrushed, yeah, this one is airbrushed. I think this is the only card in the entire set that's airbrushed. And it's not the player, it's the boards. So they made it look like maybe PBER or BBER. No, not really like BBER, but I don't know.
It's just the second B, or just the second P they changed to a B.
And then did they airbrush out a little bit of the E to make it look like an F? Because I'm looking at his sleeve, Berthiaume's sleeve, and it doesn't seem to go. Yeah, whatever. I've looked at this card so much, but yet I didn't notice that before. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, come on, Topps. You could have picked a different photo, but they really liked this photo.
It's a good photo.
It's a good photo, and I get it, but Upper Deck was really smart that year in 1991, 91, 92, because they advertised on the boards at the rinks, and they usually paid to be by the nets, because they said, hey, this is where the action happens, by the nets, so let's make sure that our ads are by the nets so that we can be seen. And, there's like a 91, 92 Topps card. I think it's Adrian Plavsic that has an Upper Deck logo in the background, but it's blurry. But then on the Upper Deck cards, they had no problem showing their own logo on the boards. But yeah, this one is just kind of funny for that reason. Like,
I wonder if there's an Upper Deck photo somewhere that has the Topps logo.
No, Topps didn't put their logos on hockey boards, though.
I mean, it doesn't have to be on a hockey board. It could be anywhere. Just anything.
Well, where would it be?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I wonder if there is to be the yin versus the yang.
Yeah, right. And then this last card is just so meta, man. It's just so like self-referential. So you could talk more about this, but the certain cards when they showed the player's rookie card, and again, some of these players had rookie cards in other sets years before, but in this case, card number 384, Brian Marchment, this is his rookie card because he played a little bit in 90-91, but he didn't get any hockey cards until 91-92. He did not have a Topps card in 91-92, but he is in the Stadium Club set. So the back of the card pictures his Stadium Club card, the very card that you're flipped over and looking at as his rookie card, because it even says there, rookie card 1991 Stadium Club. So see, they acknowledge Stadium Club, but they don't acknowledge Bowman. I'm just throwing my hands up in the air now. Like, I give up. I don't get it, right?
Because it's Topps Stadium Club. It's not Topps Bowman.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll put my hands down now.
It says it right there on the front of the card.
Topps Top. I see a Topps Stadium Club. Yeah, I can read. Thank you. I can see, but I don't read, right? I don't know. So there's a few cards like that. I want to say like 5 or 6 different cards where the back of the card pictures itself as the rookie card. Like this Brian Marchment card. And I know like the Rick Natras card, even though he has an 88-89 O-Pee-Chee card, his first Topps card is 91-92 Topps Stadium Club. Pat Conacher, Stefan Lebeau, a couple other players. So I just think that's just weird and interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, we've already brought up the fact that there's only 12 rookies in the set. I mean, in the 12 that they chose, I mean, when the Brian Marchment is probably the best rookie card off of the rookie checklist, it's the only name that really jumps off the checklist. I mean, it's rough. I mean, I think one thing that Topps did is they dropped the ball on the rookie cards as far as what eligible players they could put on product. I mean, look, you even had John LeClair and Tony Amonte in the 91-92 set. So why didn't they have Stadium Club versions? I mean, there's 2 guys right there that are, for lack of a better phrase, household hockey names, like long-term players, like legendary players in their own rights, versus, no offense to Brian Marchment or Patrick LeBeau, but, you know, these aren't guys that you're going to jump up and be like, I got to get this set because of that guy. Like, they could have included LeClair. They could have included Amonte. Heck, most of the other sets that came out that year, Nick Lidstrom's got rookie cards, Vlad Konstantinov's got rookie cards, Jeff Sanderson, Doug Waite, not to mention the Dominator is in some sets. You know, Keith Kachuk, Ray Whitney. I mean, heck, you can even go with Bill Guerin, even though Parkhurst is the only one that decided to include him. And that was only in the mail-in set. But still, I mean, these are all guys that are higher echelon than the 12 that they picked. Now, of course, you don't know at the time, right? They were rookies at the time. But still, you know, the fact that there were enough sets out there that had some of these names on the checklist repeatedly, the fact that they didn't include them in the 400 cards that they put out and only had these 12, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. You know,
yeah, they definitely could have had Dominic Hasek in there because he played in 90-91 and, like you said, score and upper deck, had rookie cards of him in 91-92. And if this was planned as maybe to be not out like right away, because I know that 91-92 Topps, I think that might have hit shelves before Stadium Club. I'm not quite sure on the exact release date.
They have the pictures on the back.
Well, but they were kind of producing them at the same time. But I guess what I'm saying, though, is that, like, and everybody knew that Pavel Bure was going to play for the Canucks that year, right? Like, Upper Deck that infamously did that card of Bure on rollerblades, right? Or actually wearing rollerblades, but sitting on that fence, right? But they could have used a press conference photo for that and had a Pavel Bure card, and that would have been probably the most popular card in the set for Stadium Club that year. So yeah, they really didn't do their homework. It's like they kind of just went through the motions, and obviously they picked all the big names like Lemieux and Gretzky and Hull and Waugh, and then a lot of like the players that have been around forever that were typically in hockey sets, and then they grabbed a few guys that were just like, oh, well, these guys don't have hockey cards, let's throw them in there, right? But yeah, they could have definitely squeezed a few more in there.
Well, I can certainly forgive them for not including like Teemu Selanne in there because they don't have as robust of a checklist as Upper Deck did, and they didn't include any international like subsets or anything in there. So I'll give them a pass on that. But the fact that they didn't use any of those other guys, including two guys that were in their flagship set, that's
right.
That's bothersome.
Well, I mean, Selanne didn't make his NHL debut until the following season.
Well, that's what I said. He didn't include any international, which is what
right. Yeah. Upper Deck had the license to do the Canada Cup card, so that's why they were able to get Lidstrom and Selanne in there, like, which was a total freaking coup, if you ask me. Like, just showing how like companies like Upper Deck and even Score, like, we're pushing the envelope of like, okay, who else can we include in our sets? Whereas Topps is just like, oh, we're Topps, we'll just do whatever. Yeah, we'll just put a Stadium Club logo on it and people will buy it. What's that?
Because we're Topps and we're the best. We've been around the longest.
Yeah, they didn't really, I don't feel like, just kind of winding this conversation down, I don't really feel like Topps tried very hard with hockey until 93, 94. I feel like that's the year where they just said, okay, we really got to try now. Because, I mean, like, they did do a Stadium Club set in 92, 93 that was two separate series, but they didn't really do anything special with the series two. Like, they didn't do like updated player photos or anything like that. They just said, oh, this set's going to be 528 cards or whatever. Let's break it in half, or whatever it was. They just basically split it up into two and then said, all right, let's just do it that way. Maybe it'll sell better, right? And then 93, 94, that's when they were like, okay, we really need to pay attention to what we're doing because we're getting smoked by the other companies. And then that's when I felt like Topps really kind of like, turned a corner with it. But this was like kind of like their first step into like, yeah, we're going to do premium hockey cards. See, look, Kodak technology and gold foil on this Corey Millen rookie card. Yay.
Well, I think what really broke them into the premium is when they came out with Finest.
Yes. Yeah. That was, that's when it went to a whole different level, like when, what's it called? A whole different level when, all the companies were doing that, where they're just like, how can we make our cards? How can we charge $5 a pack is I think what they were saying.
Yeah, because by that point it's 93, 94, you're getting into that where, okay, how can we make these $1.79 packs $4.79?
So when I was at the National a couple weekends ago, I actually bought 2 packs of Stadium Club hockey cards that Clemente and we kind of did like a pack war while we were having lunch. I just, I just saw some garbage packs and I just said, all right, you know what, I'll buy them. And I'll say this real quick. Stadium Club cards are not bricked. I know somebody emailed me and they said that they're putting this set together pack by pack. And now, today, even like you just get a set for like $8, they don't want a set of lies. So they're building it pack by pack. And they said that, yes, surprisingly, these cards are not bricked. Now, the other thing is when I was buying these packs, I was talking to another hockey collector by the name of Mike. Mike, I hope you're listening to the show because you said you would. But he told me he had this really cool trick because I said, how do you know if the packs are bricked? Because he bought some 93, 94 Score Series 2, which are very glossy. And he said he would take the pack and he would kind of do that with his fingers, where he just kind of like kind of just wiggle it back and forth like that a little bit. And he goes, and if it makes a potato chip noise, you know you're in trouble. And I thought that was good. So he goes, yeah, if you hear just a little bit, that's fine, right? But if you hear, right, if it's really crunchy when you do that, then you know that the cards are bricked. So I just thought, that's a good tip. So because I have a few unopened boxes, and I told myself, maybe I'll sit down one day and open a box and see if I build a set. Because I mean, you get, let me see, 120, 240, 360, and 6 times 12 is 72. So 360 and 72. So you get over 400 cards. I'm thinking, it is possible. It is within the realm of possibility to build a set from a box. Of course, I never bought an unopened box back in the day because I couldn't afford more than a few packs at a time. And now I can buy a box at a show. I think I bought one for $12 a year ago. But I'm just like, why would I open it? Especially if they're bricked. But now I know that they're not bricked. You have a box too. I think you wanted to.
If you were lucky enough to get all 400 cards and not get more than 32 doubles, you were doing pretty good.
Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't know how I built this set. I have a lot of duplicates also, so I must have bought a ton of packs. I might have bought some cards off of at a show from somebody. I don't know. If
I recall, some of these boxes you pulled 3 and 4 of some cards. So
yeah.
But do I have a box? Yeah, I have a box that I bought like 10 years ago, and it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Good old 91 Stadium Club. It's a little beat up. You can see the box is a little haggard, a little worn. Of course, I have the Ulf Dahlin version with Gary Galley hiding in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry, but that Elf Dahlin, if he was younger, that could almost be a New Kids on the Block card. If he was like 12 and not, or like 20 and not like 32, but
maybe.
I don't know. It's just so hokey.
He is a handsome guy, so you never know. So what do you want to do? You want to open a pack?
Yeah, go for it. Let's go ahead. Open up. I think that's a good way to end the show.
Wow.
Is that 36 unopened packs?
It sure is.
So wait, then you'll have 35. Then you won't have a full box. What are you going to do with the other 35 packs?
It's 91 Stadium Club, Sal. I don't care.
Okay.
To be honest with you. Okay, what pack should I open? You pick. What quadrant?
Open, I don't know, pick one, lower left corner, somewhere in the middle.
Lower left?
Yep. And then somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go down 5 packs. So I'm picking the 5th pack.
Okay.
Out of that stack.
That seems reasonable.
So this is going to have all the hits in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. It's going to have the jersey card and the 1-of-1 parallel.
This is television history in the making right here.
Mm-hmm.
You ready? And the packs are cellophane, so like if you look real close, you can see the top card and you can see the back card. So there's no surprises there. Of course, the pack tears and rips because it's cellophane. Oh, I got a Hall of Famer on the back.
Tim, I think you've just become a breaker.
I am. I'm a breaker.
You're opening cards on camera. You're a breaker now.
All right, here they are. You ready?
Who do we got?
We've got good old Stephen Finn.
Okay, that's kind of a neat photo because it's like busy. It's really busy. There's a lot of players on that card.
Yeah, there is. It's like, which one is Stephen Finn? Can you guess?
Well, the only one you can really see is him and that devil, or that other player, the player in the white. But
yeah, it's him right there.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I know, but
like he's not even in the center of the picture.
Yeah,
kind of stupid. All right, we've got Craig Wolanin.
That's a nice picture.
Wolanin.
Yeah. He's like skating around the net.
Here's the other thing I hate about these. One goes one way, one goes the other. That's horrible.
Is that Tom Fergus?
This is David Reed.
Oh, Dave Reed. Okay, yeah, hockey card collector, Dave Reed. Used to collect cards.
Oh yeah, we've got Brian Prop.
That's a nice picture. Smiling. He's got the cool visor, you know.
Yes, sir.
North Star's green jersey. I like it.
Rick Meager.
Mahar.
Rick Meager.
That's a really confusing picture. I mean, it's just kind of chaotic. He's like in front of the net, like battling like the North Stars goalie and I guess the North Stars D-man.
I will now and forever always call him Rick Meager. I always have, regardless, and I will continue to. Oh, here's the Tocchet hair helmet.
Yes. Okay, you got the Rick Tocchet card.
And of course, the proverbial.
Yep, the special offer card. We got to talk about that more in depth. I actually had a slide about that, but I got so excited when you said you had an unopened box. It's just like, oh, let's do that first.
Michael Pettit.
Michel Petit.
Michael Pettit.
Michael Pettit. Okay.
See, I'm a hockey breaker now, so I have to pronounce the names wrong.
Yeah. Hey, I got Patrick Roy. Is he any good? Roy.
Brad McCryman. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. We got Rob Ramage. I believe this is
now with North.
Yeah,
now with North Stars. Yep.
Another example of a team trading their captain. Another one that you showed. The Mark Messier card.
Mark Messier, yeah.
And another one that we showed. The John Cullen card.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, Hockey Hall of Famer.
Oh, Cam Neely.
So there you go.
You know, it's funny because like those are all great players, but the whole pack is worth like what you paid for it.
Yeah, there's 2 Hockey Hall of Famers in this pack, 1 All-Star, and Coach Rick Tocchet.
Yeah. So let's say you have the full set. So what else is there to collect? Like if you say I got cards 1 through 400. I know Tim, you mentioned earlier that you're like, oh, there are errors that you didn't know about until not so long ago. So I want to talk about some of these things. Like if you're building the Stadium Club set, or if you have it, but you're like, I want to kind of like extend this a little bit. Like what other things can I collect that are related to this set? I mean, of course, you could have an unopened box like me and Tim have, or unopened packs, or an empty wrapper. Those are all nice to have.
I used to have an unopened box.
Yeah, now you have 35 out of 30, 35, 36 of an open box.
I'm going to sell it as an eBay 101.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Or I'll just give you a pack. So anyway, so this is the special offer card, and it shows Rick Tocchet and Keith Brown being separated by a referee, and Rick Tocchet is saying, you don't even know where to find the best hockey coverage. And Keith Brown is saying, oh yeah, it's on the back of this card. So this is funny for 2 reasons. One, because like Keith Brown and Rick Tocchet would probably have been the most one-sided fight in hockey history, because we all know what kind of player Rick Tocchet was. I'll tell you this, I never said this, but when I used to go to the games at Chicago Stadium, I remember fans yelling, hit him with your purse, Brown, hit him with your purse. And that's what they used to say to Keith Brown, hit him with your purse. Because even though he was a solid, serviceable defenseman for 15 years or so, he was not a physical player. So the fact that this linesman is like separating them, like, now boys, I don't want you two to fight. I think Keith Brown is like, oh, thank God. The other thing, though, is that he says the best hockey coverage is on the back of this card, and it's false because it's an ad for the Sporting News, and the Hockey News had better coverage back then, still does today. Yes, I am saying that because I write for them, but back in the day, I subscribed to them. I subscribed to the Hockey News. Sporting News had like 2 pages of hockey coverage per issue, whereas Hockey News, the whole thing was hockey coverage, right? So the fact that they're trying to sell you on Sporting News, to get the subscription to that, or to buy their complete hockey book, that's what the special offer card was for. So I guess you can put one of those in your set. It's kind of like the Pro Set 10-cent off card that's like worthless, but just kind of like that additional little piece of ephemera for your collection.
The trading card database used to have this card listed as Kevin Brown and Rick Tocchet. And I remember forever going, who is Kevin Brown? And I never could figure it out. But they've since fixed it.
Yeah, Keith Brown. Well, that's good that they fixed that. So that's one interesting thing you can add. The next is the error cards. There were 25 different cards in the set that omitted the Sporting News logo on the back, probably because it was printed later. Like maybe it was printed like they printed the card and maybe that was printed on later. I don't know why it's missing, but there's 25 specific cards that are missing the Sporting News Hockey Scouting Report text. The Sporting News logo and underneath where it says Hockey Scouting Report. And you can tell because there's a big empty space above the paragraph.
Yeah, and these are the ones that I didn't realize they existed for a long time. And then all of a sudden I saw them and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I had to go back and look. And it's mostly like, for the most part, there's no rhyme or reason to it, I don't think, because it's just random players. Roenick does have one, and I think Joe Nieuwendyk has one, but most of the players are ones that you wouldn't suspect as having something that's different. And the crazy part is, other than a few of them, like people that realize that these exist, if you go on sites like ComC and stuff like that to buy singles, some people think there's a premium on these.
Yeah, they want to charge you like $3 to $5 each.
And it's super weird because there's, from what I can tell and what Beckett once published a long time ago about this, there's no real difference that they can tell in print run or anything between the two versions. I would assume the error is in less, but you're talking a product where they probably printed 20 million of each base card.
Right.
So, I mean, even if it was half and half, heck, even if it was 70-30, you're still talking about a lot of cards. So.
Yeah. I did actually track down all of these probably a couple of years ago. I want to say it was around the time I started using Trading Card Database, maybe 2015 or so, is when I first heard of these. And I'm like, oh, no way. And then I looked and then I saw that I had some, and I went through all my extras and from like the 90s, and then I had some of the other ones. And then, then I just spent the next few years just trying to get them, but, not for $5 a piece, because that's just crazy. But yeah, that's a good, that's a fun little side project that, it shouldn't really cost that much, but you're right. Some people think there's a premium on these for some reason.
And I'm trying to put them together. I'm still missing, I want to say 13 or 14 of them.
Okay.
So,
Well, lifelong pursuit. Now, there was the Top Stadium Club Charter member set that had cards from all, the four major sports, but there were 9 hockey cards in this set, and they used the 91-92 Stadium Club design, and then they say charter member at the bottom, and they, what's it called? And they feature cards of players who won the major NHL awards in 90-91. So this is kind of like a nice addendum, even though it's showing players that won, who are like basically the best players going into the 91-92 season, but it uses that design. So I think it's a nice addendum to the Stadium Club hockey set, whether you get the whole charter member set or do what I do and just grab the hockey ones, because they're really not that expensive.
No, they're not.
Do you have any of these?
Yeah. I don't know that I have all 9. I might. and just not realize it. They're probably in binders.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was to guess, all 9 of them are probably Hall of Famers at this point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so for charter member, you got Ed Belfour again. You got Ray Bork. You got Paul Coffey, Wayne Gretzky, Brett Hull, and Mario Lemieux, right?
Yeah,
so that's
I have them. They're probably in binders.
Yeah. So you got those. And then they also did, so these came out like in 91. And then these are also dated 91, but they were actually issued in 92. So the 91, 92, the 91 members only set had 13 different hockey cards. And they were award winners, and then also of players who hit some sort of NHL milestone. Like they got a card of Mike Gartner for scoring his 500th goal, and Mike Gartner for, I believe this is for 1,000 points. Yup, and then Michel Goulet for his 1,000th point. And then they also included Mario Lemieux winning the Conn Smythe Trophy after the 92 Cup Finals. So this obviously came out well after the 91-92 season and even after the Stanley Cup Finals. So, this is probably closer to the beginning of the 92-93 season when these came out, but they still use that 91-92 design, and they feature award winners and milestones from 91-92. So I feel like it kind of also fits with this set as like a nice little update or addendum.
Do you have the letter that goes with this?
No.
So like these were sent out to the actual Stadium Club members.
Yeah, I never joined the Stadium Club membership club.
If you go on Trading Card DB, they have a nice picture of one.
Okay.
That somebody posted that shows the letter that was sent from the president of Top Stadium Club at the time. It talks about the program and, hey, here's some cool cards for you. So
yeah, that's cool. And then the last thing that I think is worth looking into if you're looking to expand your Stadium Club set is trying to find a proof card. And so the proof card's a little bigger. I don't know if these are necessarily proof cards or if these are just uncut, because whenever you have a card that's full bleed, they have to be printed bigger and then cut down the size, so that's why, so a full bleed trading card would probably be printed close to 3x4 and then cut down to 2.5 by 3.5. So I have one of Chris Chelios pictured here, and it actually measures 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. So just under 3x4. And you can see that the front shows more of the photo, so you can kind of see where they cropped it. And then the back features more of that illustration of the hockey rink. So these are also just kind of a cool thing. Like if you find one, usually you find them, they're like anywhere from $5 to $20, depending who it is, or how reasonable or unreasonable the seller might be. I might have paid like $5 or $10 for this, but that was my guy, Chelios. So I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. I don't know if it's a 101 or if there's other ones floating around, but to me, it was just cool to have.
I don't know that I've ever seen one.
Really?
I don't recall.
Yeah. I think we just need to do a podcast where I just flex. Like, be the Sal Flex podcast. Like, oh, look at this withdrawn Ken Dryden card. Look at this Jared Olin card that was withdrawn. Look at this this prototype action-packed.
That's every one of our shows is Sal Flex show.
Yeah.
Because everything you have is a flex.
I don't know. I don't know if a Stadium Club proof card is really a flex.
I've never seen one, so
okay.
There you go.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I hope that people would watch this show and that they would watch the show or listen to the show if you're listening to the podcast version and learn something from it. I mean, that's what we try to do. And one of our listeners said, you guys educate and entertain. And I took that as a huge compliment because that's what I try to do. I mean, we try to be interesting and fun, but we also, try to, tell you more than just what, okay, yeah, it's got 400 cards. Great. You could look at a checklist and figure that out really quick. You could go to Beckett.com and read their paragraph long description about the set. Okay, that's great. Where do you go from there? What else can you find out about it? And so that's what I hope we provide when you listen or watch our show.
Yeah, and make sure if you do have one of these sets that you go and submit all of the cards to be graded and have like the world's only PSA set registry complete set of this. I want to.
Do you want to give the rundown of the most graded Stadium Club cards from this set?
Oh, yeah. When we were going to talk about this, I'm like, that's all anybody cares about anymore is what slab they're in. So I thought, would anybody have the audacity to slab any of these cards? Like, really? And sure enough, PSA has 963 of these on record. Well, 20 of them are autographed, but so 943 without writing on them. And Beckett has another 155 that have been graded, if you can believe that. So there's over 1,000 91-92 Stadium Clubs that have been sent in to the two bigger grading card companies, which blew my mind. Beckett with only 155. They've given out no 10s or black labels, if you can believe that. There's 36 9s and 38 9.5s, though. And between Gretzky and Yager, that's about 75 of the 155 cards.
Wow.
Or the Gretzky and the Yager card. Now, by far the most graded one out of this is Gretzky. Because if you look at PSA side, they have 246 Gretzky cards that were graded. 106 of them are 9s. So it's got a pretty high grade for most of them. But the thing I found shocking on it was the Gretzky card on their pop report. Somebody submitted one that's a 3. Somebody submitted one that's a 4. And there's 4 5s. So that's 6. There's 6 of the Gretzky card that were submitted to grading that are a 5 or less, which just kind of shocks me.
They just must have had really bad edges, because if they're grading that low, I mean, it's got to be just dinged edges on a full bleed card, especially, if it has like dark edges, that's really going to stand out.
I don't claim to be an expert on grading at all. I don't know how to prep the cards, get ready for grading, and I will never do that because I don't do that. But I can appreciate where we are in the hobby and people's focus and hyper focus on that. I get it. I understand. But who looks at a card that could potentially come back as a 3 and goes, yeah, I'll spend the $100 or whatever it costs to send this in? That's, to me, is beyond baffling, especially for an early 90s card where we all know it's overproduced.
Remember, during the height of the pandemic, a lot of people got into this and they were sending cards in to get graded, and they were sending in any cards to get graded because they just thought, oh, there aren't any that are a population 10. But then you had people who just didn't know what they were doing, who were just like, oh, I have these cards, I'll send them in and they'll get graded and they'll be worth more. And they didn't really understand like what to look for, or,
Clearly the people that pulled these out of their closet and then ran them over thought it was a good idea to send them in for grading.
I wonder if they took the rubber bands off of them first before they mailed them in.
I have no idea, but it was kind of crazy to see that. I was kind of surprised. So if you look at the Gretzky one, the one that is graded the most, a PSA 10 sold in August of last year for $75, assuming it was paid for. Now, realistically, there's a few that sold in June of last year for around like 50, 55, and then another few the first of this year for about the same price. PSA shows on their site that the average sales in a 10 is $38. So really, in the grand scheme of things, if you pulled a Gretzky, if you sent it in for grading and it graded a 10, you could get 40 to 50 bucks for it, probably. So, yeah, I don't even. It's not even worth it. Like, there's no situation where that's worth it at all.
I don't know, man. You have all those unopened packs. I could see you pulling a Gretzky or two and sending them in to.
So I told you I bought this 10 years ago.
Yep.
You know how much I paid for this?
$5.
No.
$6.
$4.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It was at a table at a show. $4.
But 4 is just such a weird number, but okay.
4 is the magic number, isn't that what? No, that's 3. Never mind.
I don't know. I mean, like I think I bought a box or two 10 years ago for like $5 each, just because I was just like, oh, the boxes are different. Okay, well, I'll get the one with Mike Richter on the front, and oh, here's one with the, whatever. I don't know if I got the Ulfdalen one, but like, I think I just bought them just kind of like, they were like, well, this is kind of cool to have an unopened box of these, right? And my plan was to keep it unopened. But then like a year or two ago, I bought another box. I don't know what the guy was selling them for, but I looked at the dude and I said, look, I'm not the type of person to lowball people and say, can you take this for can you take 5 or can you take 10? But I think he wanted like $20 for it. And I said, dude, I'm so sorry. This is not a $20 box of cards. I know your price is your price, but if you'd consider 10, I would enjoy opening this today when I watch hockey later. And he's like, I could do 12. I'm like, all right, 12, And again, like I said, I'm not going to be that guy for everything. But when I see a box of Stadium Club for 20 and I'm like, well, I kind of want it, but not for 20, but 10. Yeah. Okay. 10 is the new 5, right?
In no world is that a $20 box. I mean, even if we're going to assume that retail price at one point was my little Kmart sticker at $1.79, I mean, that would make retail price of a box at $64.44. So fast forward till now, a garbage product like this from Junk Wax that's like overproduced by the pallet warehouse size.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, $20. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and the boxes aren't even shrink wrapped, so you always find them like with like tattered edges,
you find them like this, beat up, like
they're always.
It's almost falling off.
At least when you find like an old Upper Deck box, it's shrink wrapped, so usually it has a good chance of being in decent shape, and just looking nice to put on your shelf. But that looks pretty ratty.
Yeah, because, I mean, this wasn't meant to be like, hey, I'm going to buy this box and collect it and keep it forever. This was meant to be opened, flipped up, set on a shelf, and sold by the pack. So there was no reason to shrink wrap it. It was just an extra step.
Well, I think I've said everything I need to say about this. Do you have any last thoughts before I wrap this one up? Or unwrap it in your case, because you unwrapped the pack. But yeah, before we... put a pin in this one?
Well, I mean, like I said, other than the 12 rookies that are crappy in here, and I do feel bad for Patrick LeBeau because his only rookie card on the front and back is a card that doesn't feature him. It's Brent Gilchrist on the card.
Oops.
And since the back used that specific card for the Infinite Mirror front and back, he's wrong on the front and the back.
So is that 2 wrongs make a right?
No, but 2 rights make a left. I think 2 rights. No, that makes it go backward. I guess 3 rights make a left. Yeah, that would be better. But so they used the wrong photo. They did that on a couple of cards, but they never corrected them. So
yeah. So Stadium Club, I mean, I guess this set is worth getting just for the historical context of it's a 90s set. It has a lot of Hall of Famers. It's the first Topps Stadium Club hockey set. I mean, those could be the reasons to buy it. The reasons to not buy it is that there's like a lot of other sets from this year that are better, more comprehensive, better photography, better player selection, better value, even if you want to go there, whatever, right? There's a lot of other reasons to maybe not have the set in your collection, but I'm by no means saying you shouldn't. I mean, I have the set in my collection. I got all those extra cards, and I got it in pages and everything. So, I mean, as we always say, you know, buy what you like and you'll never be disappointed.
And make sure if you do buy a box, you get the one with Ulf Dahlin.
Yes.
He approves of this message.
Yeah, that's a $60 smile right there.
$64.44 to be exact.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Puck Junk Hockey Podcast. As always, if you've enjoyed the show, please be sure to like and subscribe. Hey, if you've actually watched the video version of this, please leave a comment on YouTube. I've seen a few of you doing that now. Super helpful. Your feedback is read. It's appreciated. We will take it into account as we continue to do podcasts like this. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by buying a t-shirt at shop.puckjunk.com. And if you like to read, check out the newsletter at puckjunk.com/newsletter. And until next time, collect what you like.